What's up, Internet? Triangles are an evil shape.
Holy shit, that was something.
Look who's back.
Bye.
Bye.
I can see it all before me.
Welcome back. First time in 20... I think this is the first time you've been on camera in 2017.
27 years?
In 27 years, yeah. No, seriously though, I think this is like, aside from like in the car for Rings, I think this is the first time you've been on camera since 2016.
That was 2017?
Yeah, that's February.
I'm wearing a watch, I don't know. I don't know why I'd be looking...
Oh no, that's your friendship bracelet.
This?
This thing.
That I have on my arm, this is a sock.
What the fuck are you doing? We just watched a movie, Internet. It's called The Void. Directed by Steve Kostanski and Jeremy Gillespie.
Directed by George Costanza.
And it stars Aaron Poole, Kenneth Welch, Kathleen Monroe, and Ellen Wong. And it tells the story of a bunch of people trapped in a hospital, and there's a bunch of crazy KKK-looking motherfuckers outside, keeping them inside, and there's a bunch of crazy Lovecraft shit going on inside.
KKK Illuminati.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of crazy Lovecraft shit with tentacles going on inside, and tentacles are coming out of people's faces and mouths and everywhere. Yeah. It's nuts.
It was... How do we jump into this?
I mean, The Void was an Indiegogo campaign that was successfully funded, and now it's finally out. And this was on my more hype of the year list. I think this was like, this, Raw, and Blackwood's Daughter were my three, like, hype movies this year. So I was really excited about this, and this is the second time I watched it. I watched it in theaters, and I saw it with him just now. And goddamn. This movie's awesome. It's really fucking cool and crazy, and it's insane the whole way through. I mean, I don't really even know where to start. There's so much happening in this movie. So much happens in this movie.
Yeah, no, they're trying to pick like a good focal point, like a good jumping off point.
I mean,
dive right in there.
Kick right off. Let's just dive in, man. Practical effects.
Oh, my
practical effects.
goodness.
Practical effects. Everything practical looks better.
Everything practical looks better, and this should be an example to all movies of any. I don't give a shit if they're Indiegogo, whatever.
Yeah, no, this is.
I don't care if they're crowdfunded. I don't care if they're straight from Hollywood.
CGI doesn't look good. CGI doesn't look good. Practical effects look good.
CGI is supposed to be for things that or that aren't feasible to be done.
Like a giant fucking triangle in the sky.
Like destroying a city or something.
Or a giant triangle in the sky. No, this really speaks volumes that, you know, practical effects are always the way to go. They look amazing, and it looks real. You know why? Because it is real. Crazy.
It happened.
You have lots of tentacles coming out of faces, and it's all really there, and it looks insane. And sometimes you can't even tell what the fuck you're looking at, which I think really kind of helps in the sense of like very Lovecraftian horror, and that's supposed to be sort of
leave it up to your mind.
Well,
to sort of fill it
yeah,
in.
and then you're not even like, when it comes to things like, when it comes to Lovecraft, when it comes to like eldritch things, you're not supposed to be even. It's supposed to be incomprehensible to humans. So when you're looking at this thing and you're like, where's its face? Where is its where are the tentacles? Like,
how does it do?
The way this film is edited with a lot of that looks really good, because it cuts away every time you think you think you might be sure what you're looking at. It cuts away.
Flickering lights really help with it too.
There's a lot of flickering lights, and there's a lot of tentacles. A lot of tentacles. And then even on the less tentacly things, like in the hell basement scene.
Oh yeah.
There are some great Silent Hill practical effects in there that look amazing, and you didn't see Baskin, but when I first saw it in theaters, I was saying I feel like this is what Baskin wanted to be, but before it got lost in its own pretentiousness. This was really fucking good, unlike Baskin. I mean, it just tells a really original.
It goes from like a really like home style, looks like small town horror flick of just like a deranged psycho into something in fucking otherworldly cosmic horror, The Thing level practical insanity. I mean, this plays some really good homage to like The Thing, Hellraiser, The Fly, Halloween 2.
Halloween 2. And and also The Beyond, Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. There's the last scene of this movie is almost shot for shot a throwback to the Beyond's ending, which it is like
almost exact. But it's still, I mean, I don't say that as a bad thing. I love The Beyond, but there were a couple times when it sort of was stretching over the line a little too much into straight up ripping off territory. But at the same time, I don't care. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it the whole time. It's a fun movie.
Well, the practical effects we really tackled. That was my biggest thing.
Oh, no, for sure.
Like the look of the cult. Aesthetically, it just felt... it had a style. It wasn't, like, shot obnoxiously. Like, it wasn't pretending to be something it's not. It had a very, like... They did a good job of, like, what I was saying, like, blending that small-town horror movie kind of thing with something otherworldly, like how we just said. It's got, like... You got, like, the cop, the small-town sheriff, and everything is just, like, shot, like, as it seems like just, like, a little... It seems like a modern-day cheesy 80 movie.
Yeah, it's very aware of what it is.
Exactly.
I think is a good way to put it.
It's not trying to be something it's not.
No, for sure.
Don't be something you're not.
Don't be something you're not. Don't be fake. It actually does a really good job, I think, in that it knows what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything else. It's a really well-made love letter to movies like The Thing, like The Fly, and it's. I think they accomplished that pretty well, I'd say. I don't know. I think overall I have to praise, like, for, like, as much as it pays homage to certain things, it tells a fairly original story, and it tells a story that, I mean, it's probably the closest we've ever gotten to proper, like, cosmic horror on screen.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever seen anything that's, like, so close to, like, Lovecraft. This is the closest we've ever gotten to something that accurately portrays a Lovecraft
film adaptation
story of like, Cthulhu and crazy, weird gods of, like, the fucking cosmos. It knows when to be ambiguous. Mm-hmm. It knows when to be batshit fucking crazy and gory and
perfect amounts of each. And can we tell the build up to the scene of everything coming alive in the morgue?
Oh yeah, that was great. That whole honestly, like, I think the first I liked the movie, like, the whole time, but the first half felt very jumbled, I think is a good word for it, because there's so much happening and so much being thrown.
But I feel like that almost adds to it, because it's like it makes you feel how, like, how they feel.
No,
like, what is going on? Like,
I agree, and that's why I loved, like, the way they were shooting, like, the first creature that shows up. I love the way they shot it, because it, like, you can't even tell what the fuck you're looking at, and you can see, like, you're in their shoes and you're like, what is that? What the fuck is going on? But I don't know, there's that scene, like, and all the lead up to that scene with the first creature. I felt there was so much being thrown at you that it doesn't even give you a second to register what you're seeing. And that's, like, probably one of my more, like, negative points on it, is that I felt that whole scene was about, I don't know if it wasn't poorly put together, but I think it might have been poorly edited. Because, like, when the creature shows up and grabs the sheriff or whoever he is, the other cop, that doesn't even give you a chance to, like, register what's happening. Like, it's just there, and then he's just, like...
And he's just being dragged away.
Yeah, and it was edited weirdly, and I didn't particularly love that, but I mean, at the same time, it's... Like he was saying, it really puts you in the shoes of everybody, where there's just one thing after another, and, like, you're really being thrust into the perspective of the main characters, where you're like, oh my god, what's happening? But what I was getting at, before I got on a fucking tangent, is... I'll never do that again. Stop. What I was getting at... Okay, we're done. What I was getting at is... I felt that once you get to the basement bit, I felt the second half was much stronger than the first half.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like once you get to that basement scene, shit gets nuts, and it's like... It gets more, like, viscerally horrifying, too, because you're actually not only...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're seeing all this shit come to life. Just aside, I love the fucking one
on
body
its back,
thing.
yes, with the...
No, that was the
that's
Silent Hill looking thing.
Yeah,
no, that wasn't what I was getting at. I was getting at the first thing you see, like, smashing its face into the pole because it's trying to die. And it's just fucking ramming its face into a jagged pipe until there's a fucking gaping hole in its face. That looks so cool.
It did. Also, I love the shot of the flashlight going through it and just going through the hole.
More than anything, I think
all four of them just like...
I think that, of all the corpses in the basement, I think that was the one that left the most impression on me. I don't really... Do you have anything you didn't like about this? Because I have one, but it's not... It's sort of a mixed... It's like a like
You go first and I'll try to think. Sorry for the momentary interruption.
Battery died, it's all good. So what I was getting at is the script and the characters are not particularly, like, well developed, like any of them. And, like, the script doesn't really give them any reason to be memorable. Like, there's no memorable characters in this movie, I don't think. Aside from the villain, maybe. That's just because he looks fucking cool, though. I don't know. I don't think that the script or the characters like really had any moments that were like gonna stick with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember half the characters' names already.
I mean, for Christ's sake, the sheriff, when he came in, I mean, it was just like, hey, nice to meet you. Hey,
bye.
all right,
Yeah,
he just took a fire axe to the neck. Bye.
Yep. Yeah. It was really that. Like, there's a lot of characters, and none of them are particularly.
They're throwaway characters.
They're throwaway characters, and I think that even the main character, like, there's nothing particularly memorable about any of them. I don't remember his name, but that being said, it's sort of like a double-edged sword, because that is all true, but at the same time, like you were saying, this movie knows what it is, and in a film like this, you don't really need particularly memorable characters, because you're going to watch fucking over-the-top, insane fucking tentacles and gore.
Yeah, it's gonna take you away. It's gonna...
Right.
You're not gonna be focusing on that.
Right, and I see, like... So while I think that stronger characters could have helped the movie, I don't think that the characters not being particularly memorable hurt the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think one of my gripes would be the choice in survivors.
Really? I kind of felt that was weirdly fitting.
Weirdly fitting is a good way to put it. I mean, the boy I was okay with.
Right.
He didn't do it.
He was really good. I actually liked his acting a lot.
So did I. I'm pissed that the grandpa died.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I actually don't think that's another note I wanted to say is positive was I don't think there was any real bad acting in this film at all.
Mm-mm.
Every act, like no one was like super standout, but they were all really good.
Everyone fit the role they were assigned
Absolutely, I totally agree. That's my feelings on it all. Did you have anything else you wanted to add aside from the choice of survivors? Or
I would have liked to seen a cultist uncloaked.
yeah, but at the same time, I love those costumes.
I do, but I would have liked to see just one so we know what we were dealing with.
They're probably just people.
Were they everyday average Joes?
I think they were, because he mentions toward the end that like they're waiting for their transformation.
That's what I figured.
So I figured they're just people and they're trying to become.
Or were they
more...
corpses like the things in the morgue?
They could have been. That's true.
That he reanimated that were waiting for their transformation into something.
But no, the things in the morgue were like test subjects that were like they wanted to die. They wanted to die and they couldn't die.
It's like the Island of Misfit Toys.
The Island of Misfit Corpses.
It's the Island of Misfit Toys, but like
it's literally just let me die
in hell.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy, but it was so cool. Anything else?
The Island of Misfit Toys. If Santa Claus was Dr. Satan.
Exactly. What would you rate this movie?
I'd say must see.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think I think that's definitely a fair assessment. I would probably say solid. I think that there are a couple of those things that I think would turn some people off, but I would say definitely solid. Like, it has those issues that I mentioned, but it's totally enjoyable the whole way through. It's a fucking blast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's the kind of movie that
it's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's fun as hell.
It's
fun and it's intense as fuck. And I think that if you it really knows how to hold that tension the whole way through. Mm-hmm. That's something that's really you don't see a lot anymore. No, you don't. But that being said, I think you should all check out The Void. It's really cool.
What are you gonna rate it?
What
are you?
I said solid.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I definitely say it's solid. And yeah, you should all check out The Void if you like what we said, or if you saw the trailers and you were like, that looks cool, or if you funded the Kickstarter, you should watch it. It's pretty rad.
Why you haven't already, that's just beyond me.
What?
If they funded the Kickstarter, why you haven't watched it already?
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, it's really fucking rad, and you should give it a watch.
Describe this movie in one word.
Tentacles.
This movie...
This never gets old.
This movie is like... As you're like... You like beer.
I don't,
and you're
but
drinking,
okay.
I'm saying you like beer, and you're experimenting, and you're branching out from Coors Light and Budweiser, and you're even Blue Moon, Yingling, and Guinness are starting to get a little old and not do it for you. So you start looking at some like local craft breweries and stuff like that, and you start seeing like what is there is out there. But you don't want to become one of those pretentious hipsters that's like, oh, look at me, I drink a fucking double IPA nitro, shoot me in the head, stout, whatever. I don't know, but then you find this local brewery, and they know what they are, they're not trying to be something big and pretentious and everything, and they just make a good goddamn beer. And you like that beer, and you go back and buy 6-packs, sometimes even 30 racks from it, because it's just so damn good. It's refreshing, and I swear to God, it's like every can is something new, even though it's the same brew. That's what this movie's like.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and if you saw The Void and you want to talk to us about it, you should click down there and, like and comment and subscribe and tell us what you thought of this movie, and tell us you want to see more of him so he'll come back. I miss him.
This isn't the end.
Statistically, you're more likely to die in a hospital than anywhere else.